This is my second time trying to go live, and I think it's very interesting how I'd never had this problem before, but all of a sudden, when I wanted to go live specifically addressing this topic, it wants to get wonky, right? The topic is good fathers, right? I see so many. I have wondered how my algorithm got laden and immersed with conversations by Black people that are very tug of war, that are at war with each other, Black men and Black women. And it is a war. I don't want anybody to not say that it's not a war. It is a war. Um, but everybody's fighting for something different. And everybody's fighting because of something different. And I have wondered just recently, like, how did this stuff end up on my algorithm? And I wondered that because I hear quite often about men and women growing up without fathers in the home. I grew up with a father in the home. How did this stuff end up on my algorithm? And I think that's what's prompting me to do this. It is my desire to have a series. It is my desire to start a series about good fathers for a myriad of reasons. But today, I want to focus on you, like maybe impressing upon you to watch your algorithm if you're a person that grew up with a father, a good father, for respect and honor out of them. Watch what you're watching. If your daddy was a good daddy, we need to be guilty of saturating this digital space with the memories and the lessons and the profound impact that our present fathers had. That's number one. Because if you keep looking at this stuff, I can tell you there are absolutely times where I find myself jumping in these conversations that I don't have a dog in the fight in. I don't know about this. Why am I commenting anything in this sphere? And I don't know anything about that. You will find yourself almost osmosis into these worlds and these experiences that you personally did not experience. That's number one. Watch your algorithm. Number two, others that didn't have the experience of your dad. I share my dad all the time because when my dad was living, he shared himself. Here's what's so hard. It's going to be hard with me. I'm just going to give you guys a preface. I'm a crybaby. And every time I talk about my dad, I get choked up because of how brilliant he was. Do you hear me already? You hear the quiver? My dad was so brilliant and so monumental and so amazing. He has passed on, and his legacy still remains. What he put inside of me and who he instilled in me to be still remains. The accolades that my mother gives him still remains. The impact that he had on my cousins, on my aunts. My dad was generous. He was brilliant. He was smart. He was wise beyond his years. He was a worker. And I have so many stories that I want to be guilty of. Stop sitting and watching these videos of Black people having a war. And it's embarrassing. I'm going to tell you something. It's embarrassing to watch people that look like me be online and be so hurt and not realize they're hurt and spew their opinions and their hurt as facts. No, babe, that's not facts. That's trauma. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to, and I want to retrain my algorithm because that is one thing. I'm really disciplined about my algorithm on social media. I'm not on any other social media. I may have a profile, but I have not logged on and been on any social media since December 22nd of last year. Best decision I ever made besides YouTube. I really enjoy YouTube specifically for a reason. There's a lot of learning on YouTube if you curate your algorithm to be so. And I'm very strict on myself about what I'm watching and what I'm ingesting daily, right? And I don't know how these things snuck onto my algorithm, this fighting with Black people. I'm not interested. I'm embarrassed because I don't see that with anybody else. I'm embarrassed because we pretty much, I'm embarrassed and, and I'm not surprised because Black people, and I'm not saying that other races have not had it. I can only speak about Black people because I am Black, right? Black people have always had this unwritten rule of what goes on in the house stays in the house, and we're not doing that anymore. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because some shit needed to come out of the house, right? But now it is this explosive coming out of the house that's now going onto the internet to the world. Like there's one thing to come out of the house and have conversations, but now we're having a global clown show, global trauma shooting. Again, I don't see the benefit of it right now. Maybe there is benefit because there is good and benefit and non-benefit to everything, right? There's a yin and a yang to everything. But probably for me, that is not what I want to, hey, it's just me. That's not what I want to witness every day or even every other day. And I don't want it on my algorithm anymore because I had a father who was in the home, married to my mother for 43 years. And I don't know about this war zone that many Black people have an experience with. That does not make me better, but that does make me different. And a difference that I want to preserve, a difference that I can be proud of, and I am proud of. I would shy away from that all the time because it felt like I was bragging or saying that I was better. And I mean, kids would say that to me when I was a kid. You think you're better? Okay, whatever you say. If you say I think I'm better, then maybe I am. Zozo, what's up, girl? Maybe I am. If you're telling me that I'm better, here's the deal. You telling me everything else about myself that's negative. If I can believe that, then I surely can believe that you telling me thinking I'm better than myself, I can believe that that's true too. So maybe I am better. But I am better when it comes to some traumas that spew out so toxic and ugly that we're watching online. Yeah, I am better than that. And I'm grateful. That's not of my own goodness. That's because of my parents. I'm better because of my parents. And I'm not going to shy away from that because they did that. Do you not think my parents went through the same shit that other parents did? But they stayed together. However they needed to respect each other and honor each other and love each other, they did that. However they needed, and my mom, let me tell you something. My mom kept evolving. And my dad loved her through every evolution. My mom was always in school. She was always learning something. She was always getting new certifications. She was always, and listen, if you know anything about energy, right? Because I'm a big energy girly. You know anything about energy, when you change your education and you continue to grow, that changes your vibration and your frequency. That changes how you behave. That changes your mood. That changes your everything. So yeah, my mom kept changing. My dad kept loving her at every change. And my dad changed and got sick, and my mom still honored and respected him. I saw my mom respect and honor a man that could not work because he gave her the fucking best he had for 30 years. And so the last bit when he could not work, my mom still honored him. She cooked for him whenever he got sick and couldn't, take care of himself. My mom was there. Are you kidding me? I saw this. So I don't have a dog in the fight with some of these conversations, and I won't involve myself in them anymore. That's my discipline and my responsibility, that when I see things like this, these hardened women and these lazy men, these masculine women and these feminine men, when I see this, it is my responsibility to turn it off, to not recommend the channel, right? I can turn that. That's for me to do. And I just want to encourage others on here. I can't be on here long because I'm on my way to the airport. I live in Mexico. I'm coming back to the States today. And I'm excited. I'll be there for about 6 or 7 weeks. I don't know, maybe somewhere around there. But I just wanted to encourage. I'm going to start doing a series because I want to do more of this. And I'm actually, while I'm on my holiday, I want to actually put more videos out about good fathers and the influences of good fathers and present fathers. Because even this morning when I tried to do a quick search on YouTube about good fathers, present fathers, what it was like to have a father in the home, I couldn't find anything. I saw stuff basically speaking futuristically and trying to beg and convince people that having a father in the home is a good idea, but it didn't have people like me sharing their experiences of an excellent father in the home. And I'm telling you, again, I'm going to cry through these videos, and I'm not going to stop the videos because it is the love of my father that makes me cry. It is the love of my father that overwhelms me. And he has been dead since 2011, but that love still bubbles up out of me. And I want people to see that I don't have sad tears about a father who wasn't there or about a father who said he was going to be somewhere and didn't show up. I don't have that. I have happy, loving tears of a dad that was always present, always. Yet. Okay, I don't want to cry yet, but just know that I'm going to absolutely do so many videos because I want to tell you about my dad, who was hopefully another reason why I share him is because he shared himself when he was living. And I want to share him post mortem because his impact was still so powerful that I know that if I share my stories of my dad, that you all can get something from it. If you can watch these stories and get angry and get riled up and fiery about deadbeat dads, you can feel love and compassion and comfort and stability and safety with stories of my dad. Because I never felt, you guys, I'm gonna tell you this one time. We were taking my grandpa to the train station, and we got on the train to get my grandpa settled, my dad's father. And the train started moving. We hadn't bought a ticket. We were just getting my grandpa on the train. My grandpa had a ticket, but my dad and I did not have a ticket. My dad's first job was on the railroad, so the train doors don't open like just normal doors. There's like a little mechanism that you have to hit for the door to open. My dad he knew how to open up the train door. He hops off the train. He starts running next to the train and tells me to hop off into his arms. I have to be about 6 or 7. I'm a plump kid. And at 6 or 7, I trusted my dad enough to hop off of that train into his arms. Did he drop me? You believe he did not. That's the kind of safety that I've always known with men and my dad. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing that a lot more about my dad, about a good dad. And let me tell you, I don't expect, to be honest, I don't know if people are going to be even interested in this because a lot of times people want to hear trash and fighting and arguing. And I can't bring that when it comes to this topic because I had an excellent dad who was an excellent husband. And I'm actually going to be with my mom on Saturday. And I want you guys, I'm going to go live because I want you guys to hear from my mom. And you can hear her. She's 76, 75, 76. And you can hear from her experience of 43 years of marriage. And one thing my mom, she'll tell you, wait for it. She'll tell you out of 43 years, he never raised his voice at her. And she never even heard him raise his voice to anybody else in 43 years. My dad was a military man, masculine as fuck, was always working, always had his money, never talked about what he couldn't do. if it was something that needed to be done, best believe he went and made that happen. He made it happen. He made it happen. And I'm always going to love and respect my dad. Even if I can say that my dad worked himself to the detriment of himself, yeah, he probably did. I'm going to say that he probably did work to some harm because, that's kind of what men do. They're not taking care of their health. They're not taking care of things because they're focused and driven on providing and making life safe and comfortable for the women and children that they support. I honor my dad for that too, because that's what he wanted to do. Anything else would have made him feel, and his feelings mattered. It would have made him feel like he was failing. And my dad went out victorious, feeling like he won. That's what matters. My dad went out of this world knowing that he won because when he looked at us, we were his trophies. My mom was his trophy. His children were his trophy. We were his gifts. And he did everything to make sure that his gifts were safe and provided for. So I'm going to pause because like I said, I'm going to the airport, but I wanted to let you guys know what's coming from this channel for a little bit. And I don't care who gets tired. And like I said, people People like fighting, people like war, people like destruction. And listen, if you know anything about the natal chart, I'm an Aries sun, I'm a Sagittarius moon, and I'm an Aries rising. 60% of my chart is fire. So I love war, right? But I fight differently. I've never been a physical fighter. I will, but I'm not that girly. I fight more intellectually because I don't want to tell you the reason why, because it may sound nasty to you. It don't sound nasty to me, and I'm not gonna stop doing it, but I do like to fight intellectually. um, and because this is the way my dad was. My dad was incredibly intelligent and intellectual and brilliant, and I'm going to fight in a way that he taught me how to, and that is with sharing, practicality. And I just want you guys to know that not every Black person grew up in a dysfunctional home. If you are a non-Black person watching this, not every Black person grew up in the hood. I did not. I did not grow up in the hood. I grew up in private schools. I grew up in magnet schools. I went to the top school in the state of in this top 10 school in the state of Kansas, the number one school in Kansas City, Kansas. I attended that school and graduated, my sister and myself. Um, Nothing about me has ever struggled. I have never been without. I have never been without food, water, electricity. I've never once walked into my house and did not have a utility. Never, ever, not even a threat. I never heard my parents arguing about who was going to pay for what this month and not having any money. I don't know about bugs, roaches, any of that. I don't know about hardships. I don't know about guns all around my house, other than camping and hunting, because we're a little country, right? I don't know about that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even grow up listening to R&B and secular music a lot. I had to sneak and go get that from other places because in the home that was not happening. I grew up with a father who was a journalism major and would correct our grammar constantly. Right? He did not want us going out into the world with a disadvantage. And people can call that whatever they want to call that. Right? Thing is that I'm sharing my story and I'm sharing what has made me successful in life, what has made me happy in life, right? And people who are miserable will always find something wrong with your joy. I expect that. Again, I keep trying to say this thought, and I keep stopping myself. But people like war, and when it comes to peace and sharing love and goodness, this series may not get the numbers that I know it deserves, but if 10 people watch it and 10 people understand what I'm saying and say, you know what, I had a good dad too. Let me start talking more about my good dad. Let me start saturating the airways with experiences and stories about my good dad because he deserved it. His legacy deserves to live on and be immortalized through you, through YouTube, and it can be if you share. And to stop getting involved with conversations on there are so many, okay? And this fight will take more people, but this fight will also take consistency, and this fight will also take discipline to turn shit off. This fight will take discipline to say, do not recommend this channel. The moment you see black and white people or black people arguing with each other, saying what men don't do and do not recommend this channel. Turn it off. If you keep watching it, if you watch it more than I think it's 3 seconds, the algorithm is going to think you like it, and it's going to show you more of it. Different people. We don't need another contributor of what men are doing and what men are not doing and what women are doing and what women aren't doing. Let's talk about what they are doing, right? Let's talk about the character of our parents. And I'm going to start with my dad because I hear that quite often, and I really want more on YouTube about good fathers. So if you had a good dad and you grew up with a dad in the home, if you grew up within a marriage, please, if you're black, share your experience because it's not enough of us sharing the experience. And people really do think, like if you listen to, I've even heard white podcasters talk about, well, the majority of black people come from broken homes. What statistic are you looking at? And even if it was, what about the big chunk of us that weren't? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know about divorce and things until I got to about high school because all of my friends were coming from two-parent homes. So I didn't understand this broken home till about high school. I didn't understand stepmoms and I had, believe it or not, my dad was raised by his stepmother. I did not know she was a stepmother because we were all just together. I thought she was his mother till at least middle school. And they had to explain to me what step was. Because I was confused. What do you mean? But anyway, more of the good fathers, right? I'm just telling y'all now, I'm gonna be crying babying all through the video, trying to get through and talk about my daddy because he was just that good. And I promise next time I'm gonna have some lotion on my face. But I really just stopped. I was trying to pack my bag and I actually pulled my microphone out of the packed so that I could come on here because I really wanted to share this, that there are a lot of black people grew up in great homes, and a lot of black people grew up in two-parent homes that were good homes. And a lot of black people grew up with good dads, right? Whether their parents were married or not, dad was present. Daddy was always there. Dad and mom got along. A lot of black people do have that experience, and I'm going to be guilty of sharing that a lot more when I get settled, when I get to the States, right? Because I'll have lots of time. Um, yeah, that's it. I love myself. I love you. I love and miss my daddy. And I will talk to you guys later. See ya.